Hello guys, I'm finally back with another review. Sorry for the long wait in between, but I was mainly waiting for this movie to come out. I was really excited to watch and review this movie with Josh. Except he decided not to do it, and now I'm just going to be reviewing this solo. Welp. So, what's my experience with My Little Pony? Just like any recent fan, I got into the franchise starting with Friendship is Magic. It began for me in 2012, when the Brony fandom really got popular. For better or worse. I enjoyed the show quite a bit during the first 3 seasons, but I began to fall off during season 4, and basically stopped around when season 5 started. I guess I just lost interest. What really pulled me in though was the character design. I adored it. I loved how everyone looked, and combining that with the personalities, writing, and improving the animation as the show continued, it always stayed as something I could love and appreciate. When the movie came out in 2017, I decided to give it a watch, and I thought it was pretty good. The switch in art style was a little jarring at first, but I was able to get used to it quickly, and found it complemented the movie quite well. While Tempest Shadow was a great villain, my main complaint of the movie was the other villain. He was just really lame in comparison, especially by the end. The show finally wrapped up in 2019 with 9 seasons total, making it exactly 9 years on the air. That's a lot of 9. And so enter G5, a new generation. I've talked about my thoughts on the new characters before, but to make a long story short, I really love these new designs too. The trailer intrigued me and I was curious to see where the movie would go. So, what is this movie truly about? Spoiler warning for anyone that hasn't seen A New Generation yet. Let's dive in. Set a long time after Friendship is Magic, Sunny is an Earth pony who's upset at the separation of unicorns and Pegasi. She tries to get a good word out to everyone to try to convince them that they could get together as friends again, but they are too gullible and fear-filled to truly listen. The mayor of the town, Phyllis, is actually building advanced technology equipment to protect them. That is until Izzy Moonbow shows up. When Sunny was a kid, she actually sent out a message that personally invites any Pegasi or unicorn to come be her friend. Years later, Izzy actually received the scroll and the two bond very quickly, but not everyone else. After learning that Izzy is missing her magic, the two set off to the city of Zephyr Heights, where all the Pegasi live. Here, they meet Princess Zip and Pip, sisters and daughters to Queen Haven. Pip is a pop star in the city, whereas Zip reveals that they can't even fly. They lost the magic as well to do so, and soon they're exposed for faking it to everyone else. They then learn that magical crystals from each species of pony are broken apart, and Sunny believes that if the 3 pieces are put back together, the magic will come back. While gone, Hitch, the town sheriff and friend of Sunny, decides to go after her, not trusting the intentions of Izzy, whereas the more incompetent sheriff, Sprout, takes over the town and puts more fear propaganda into the townfolk, pretty much turning them into a defensive army as he gets more power hungry. So, with the group rounded out, they set out to collect the crystals to see if the magic can be restored. So, that's the plot. Pretty simple stuff for a My Little Pony movie, honestly. Before I talk about my gripes, let me talk about the things I liked. First, the character design and animation. It all looks really great. I especially love when there are close-up shots of the characters. You can really see they took the time to individually detail each strand of fur and hair. It looks so ridiculously pretty and appealing to look at. Second, the voice cast. I think everyone works pretty great here. After reviewing Centaur World, I came to learn that the voice actress for Horse is the same as Izzy here, and honestly, I felt as though she fit Izzy much better than she did as Horse. Izzy is actually my favorite character, to be honest. She's just a joy to watch. My least favorite? Probably Sprout. I get what they were going for by making him some sort of antagonist in the story, but as the movie went on, the running gag of him being pathetic and telling Phyllis, "Am I a good sheriff, mommy?" got a bit annoying. I get it, it's supposed to appeal to kids, and the story is supposed to be a little more grounded, as opposed to having a supervillain like the show, but at the end, I wasn't really feeling him, especially when he didn't learn his lesson of all the trouble he caused. He wasn't really punished in any way. Next, the songs. I know the soundtrack released a couple days before the movie came out, but I didn't listen to any of them beforehand. I waited for the movie for that. The songs themselves are nice. However, I feel as though a majority of them are a bit overproduced, like they end up coming off sounding like a Lady Gaga or Katy Perry single you hear on the radio. My favorite song was actually Izzy's Fit Right In. It just had a really nice melody to it. And of course, you gotta have the rap breakdown. It seems as though a lot of kids' movies are doing this lately. So, what are my issues with this movie? Well, my biggest problem is the pacing. I really enjoyed the first half a lot. The setup was great, the characters were nice, and I was enjoying where it was going. However, when they get to Zephyr Heights and learn of the crystals for the first time, the movie's pace just goes haywire. Things begin to move way too fast for its own good, leading to the second and third act, as we barely have enough time to just bunker down and have quieter moments with the other 5 characters. By the time they reach the Bridalwood, which is where all the unicorns live and they have to disguise themselves as unicorns to fit in, I began to worry. You all know what I hate. Clichés. And sure enough, most of it ended up happening. She has to win the crystal from Alphabeetle as a prize, and he does it by giving her a dance game competition. I said to myself, let me guess, she ends up winning, and because of how excited she gets, she becomes exposed. She ends up winning, and at the result of her excitement, the horn falls off, exposing them. Ugh. They try to put the pieces together, and guess what? It doesn't work. Everyone who was starting to like the idea of them coming together starts to leave in disappointment. I said to myself, this is the part where everything is going to be sad and somber. She gives up, very sad, and goes back home where she mopes and dopes. Predicted that as well, but at least it wasn't an argument scene that broke them up. I'm tired of that one as well. But of course, she realizes that she was simply missing the third piece, which is a jewel that was in the hoof-crafted lamp that her father made for her. As everyone gets back together, she tries to put the three pieces together, but freaking Sprout over here uses this big machine to try to break down her house to prevent her from bringing back the magic due to his fear. Even his mom at this point thinks he's going too far, which I like. But the whole ending sequence is a bit frustrating to watch, because they keep dropping the pieces for dramatic effect, and I was like, just put it together already! Of course, it still doesn't work, and the asshole ends up bringing down her house. Nice one, feel proud? Sunny then comes to the conclusion that the true magic is us. They just needed to come together with genuine respect, love, and admiration for each other to gain the magic back. With them agreeing, the pieces finally glow and come together, restoring the magic, including turning Sunny into an alicorn, like Twilight did at the end of Season 3. So, cool, magic is back and everyone is happy. But let's see how this ending will play out. Oh, it's over. What? Yeah, that's my second big issue. The movie ends way too fast. We didn't even get proper closure. Sony getting her house back, or her having one last talk with her friends, her thanking her dad for the jewel in the lamp, maybe kissing the photo, Sprout being put in his place. I freaking hate you! Nope, it just ended with, we all have to love each other. Boom, magic is back, the end. Again, I get it, it's My Little Pony, but they definitely could have ended it better in my opinion. It just ends up coming off as unfinished in a way without the proper closure. I understand if this was really a huge episode 1 in a way, to set up a potential series with these characters, and if that's the case, then cool. But if the movie wanted to stand on its own, they could have at least gave it a proper conclusion, whereas here, it feels like it's lacking the epilogue. Overall, I thought the movie was good, for the most part. I did enjoy the characters, the songs, and the animation and visuals are lovely, but the pacing definitely needed to slow down at parts, and the ending needed an extra scene or two to really be satisfying. Either way, I'm giving My Little Pony: A New Generation a light 7 out of 10. While I'm not in love with how it wrapped up, I'm still curious to see how this ends up going. I hope everyone can take G5 for what it is and end up liking it. They do pay homage to G4 in the beginning with a nice 2D animated opening, so that was cool. If a series does end up being made, I would like to see these characters expanded upon, especially Princess Zip and Pip, who I felt barely had enough development. So, what do you guys think of the movie? Write it down in the comments below. I'll see you all next time.